Yeah.
What's up, ladies and gents, boys and girls, children of all ages? This is the Shoe Booty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Graham Powell. On this screen, that's Bradley Brown on the other. Say what's up, Brad.
How's it going?
It's going mostly well. But that's just me. We got lots to talk about in the sports world. How are things with you, Brad? How is it going?
I guess they're going okay. Well,
Okay. We're prepared for that, were you?
no, I was not.
We just never asked Brad how he's doing on the show.
No,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm doing okay.
All right. Well, I'm glad we got to start things off very awkwardly. Before we get to the sports portion of the show, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. Shoe Booty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app of choice, screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit your screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section while you're there for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series, and you can find us, Shoe Booty Sports, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X at Shoe Booty Sports. What is that? Just a shirt? What kind of shirt is that you're wearing? I didn't know what it was exactly till I saw the hogs on it, and there's like brown sprinkled in. I don't know what's going on with
Yeah,
that. So,
it's like a camo. I don't know. I've seen it on the old interwebs. It's got the hogs and it's got the state in there too as part of the
okay, so
camo.
it's state now.
So,
Okay. Is
uh,
it a pullover, like a?
Amigo. It's like a thin hoodie,
Okay,
lightweight hoodie.
you call those Migos? Is that what you call them?
The company's called Amigo.
Oh, that's the company. Okay.
Yeah, and they've got man, they had tons, practically any team in the SEC, and I think some other ones out there from other conferences. So,
Those are my favorite kind of shirts, the long sleeve thin ones, like
me
textile
too.
thin long sleeve shirts with even a hood on it. Those are my favorite kind of shirts. But okay, I just had to figure, I had to know or get the answers to that question that was going on in my head to continue on to the show. All right. Let's start NBA talk because I mean obviously we'll get to the Super Bowl picks and all that. Brad already said Chiefs. I haven't made my pick yet, but if you watch or listen to the show, you should probably be able to guess who I'm going to pick. But okay, the NBA, as you said before I clicked record, is drunk this week.
Yep.
Uh, People are calling it the biggest trade maybe in league history. Luka to the Lakers for AD, and I don't know what else. I just know Luka and AD swap. I assume Dallas gets some picks too. But yeah, what? Oh, I mean, this is typical Lakers kind of stuff. The
Yeah.
Lakers always seem to find. I mean, this is how the Lakers build their teams. Really, I mean, they trade
Yeah, they
up.
don't really draft it. They
Yeah,
can, yeah, they can build it.
well, of course they traded in the draft to get Kobe Bryant, traded to get Shaq, drafted Magic, but then traded for Kareem, and they did draft Worthy. I mean, they draft smart at times, but the Lakers typically build their teams by trades, free agency, and oftentimes it's trades. Kobe's second run, essentially, getting as him being the focal point of the team without Shaq, was the big trade for Pau Gasol and company, and adding pieces around them. This is what the Lakers do. Lakers are this is what they I don't know how else to say it. This is what they've done really since they've been around or been relevant as far as at least in Los Angeles that is. Big deal.
I didn't know it involved the Jazz, the trade deal. Did you?
Did later, and I don't know that Danny Ainge knew. I've heard reports that he didn't know that this was essentially going to send Luka to LA. I've heard that thrown out there. I don't know. Uh, Maybe it's been confirmed somewhere. I don't know. We're busy. We've got our own lives and are just up to date on everything. But everybody in the sports world knows about this trade. What do you think of it? Winner, if there's a loser, etc.
I think there's definitely a loser. And I think it's the Mavericks. But uh, yeah, this is this might be the biggest trade. Well, yeah, it is the biggest trade I can recall in my lifetime. Um, yeah, it. I think it's a good move by the Lakers. But
You
yeah, I
think?
woke up.
Yeah.
I heard it. I seen the news break at like what 11 o'clock at night, like right before I went to bed, and I woke up in the morning. I was still like in the days of waking up, and I was like, "Did I really see that?" And of course, got it right on my phone. It was top of the headlines. I was like, "Dang, that was for real. I didn't dream it." But it was shocking to see.
I'm like you. I heard it. Of course, I'm very heavily when I'm not working, I'm studying these days. So I'll have sports on in the background if I have time for it. And I was on my phone at the end of the night, and I think I saw something on TikTok maybe talking about it, and I thought it was like a parody type of
Yeah.
thing at first. And then I said, "Well, wait, that sounded. This is a kind of credible." So I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Bill Simmons. I want to say it might have been Bill Simmons. I was like, okay, well, this is a credible source, obviously. Like, what? Where is this coming from? So I check ESPN. I just checked the ESPN app right before I'm going to bed. And sure enough, there it is. Luka to the Lakers for Anthony Davis and whatever else was involved. But that's obviously the thing that popped. And when I got up at 4:45 in the morning the next day and got ready, got in the car and went to work, made the dark drive to work, had a sports radio on, and sure enough, that's what they were talking about. And I was like, oh, and I was like, oh, that did happen. That really did happen. Pretty wild. Our friend Jeff Welch lives in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and
Is he still there?
he made a comment on one of our mutual friends' Facebook pages that was talking about the trade. Said where everyone here is sick in Dallas. just and just the whole press conference with Jason Kidd, the Mavs GM,
Did,
looked like
did you?
nobody saw this coming.
Another reason why the Mavericks come out the loser is they're refunding season ticket holders up to 2 grand that are mad about the trade.
Yeah, something happened. Like I mean, they're clearly just fed up with Luka. I don't know what happened. It's you hear talk about they wanted to play defense, watch his weight more. Luka's a star.
Yeah.
Whatever he's doing is working. Yeah, he's
Where would
not
they
a
be
great
without him? Yeah.
yeah, he's not a great defensive player. He kind of plays his way in shape. It's like Charles Barkley in a sense, but Barkley, was a better defender in that regard. But as far as the weight and all that goes, like he's still great. He's still a great player. He's your superstar. He may go down as he may be the all-time leading scorer when it's all said and done. I don't know that he'll play to 40 like LeBron and he won't be as great as LeBron is at 40. So
Yeah.
that may be a points record that doesn't get touched. But if anybody can do it, it's probably Luka. He's the best scorer in the game today. And what's the thing we always say LeBron needs is a shooter, but this is different. He's not a Klay Thompson where you can kick it out and just right on the spot shoot it. Luka and LeBron both like the ball in their hands.
Yeah.
They both play with the ball in their hands. This is going to be. It's going to be. I don't know. It's going to be quite the learning curve for these two. They're going to definitely be some growing pains, and I'm looking forward to seeing it though. Basically, this is the Lakers saying we've got our guy for the next decade. Like we
Yep.
have our marquee player for the next decade. They said LeBron didn't know about the trade till after the fact.
You believe
And
that?
yes, I do believe that. I think he would have, not that he would have had a say in
That's
it.
how it should be, but I don't know. I don't necessarily believe it.
I do. I believe it because he would have tried to go against it. I mean, he would have been in favor of keeping AD.
True.
I mean, how's LeBron the GM done, really?
Not good.
Yeah. Um, Now that team, he basically did something pretty great in the sense of leaving Cleveland and letting them kind of get Kyrie, rack up draft picks, which they whiffed on a few of those, Cleveland that is, and then went back when they had some pieces to work with. And that's the thing; they were still a bad team until LeBron got there, which just shows how great LeBron is. You trade for Kevin Love, a still prime Kevin Love, and you win a championship. You reach your ultimate goal there. Um, LA, they built a team that was good for a championship, and I don't know. LeBron has been successful everywhere he's went, but he's with we all know in the twilight of his career, he's got a year or two left, I would say. And your dad is calling me, by the way, as we're on the air. So,
Cool.
yeah, I'll call Barry back when we're done with this. But I mean, I could answer right now, but who knows what's gonna come on the podcast there. But this is basically LA saying we've got our guy for the next 10 years, the next decade, and we did everything you wanted. Look for LeBron, that is. We drafted your son, who no one else would have drafted. We got the guy that you wanted for a head coach. We did everything you wanted to do. Now it's our turn to make a move. It's our turn to do what's best for our franchise and our future. And they made the move that they thought was best, and they kept LeBron out of it, apparently. And I think they handled everything the right way in that regard. And if LeBron doesn't like it and wants to leave, then okay, like you've still got your guy for the next 10 years. You've got a superstar that you can build around.
Yeah.
So I think the Lakers knocked this one out of the park. I do believe that. I don't think LeBron knew. How good are the Lakers now? Better, okay, better, worse, uh, about the same.
Uh, Probably about the same until Luka and LeBron can gel, man. Because they got what? They got off to a hot start. They've been kind of treading water here lately, right?
Yeah, well, they're going to be worse for a little bit, but once it starts to gel, it's going to be interesting. I don't know what to think, really.
I'm
You
excited to watch it.
Yes, it's two all-time great players on the same team. I mean, LeBron is the best 40-year-old player I've ever seen. He can still go.
Yeah.
So, it's like you said. I just want to see what happens. I haven't been interested in the NBA all year, and I'm still not. But I'm interested in this team, and if they're on TV, I want to watch it.
In the last what 4 days, they're trying to make it interesting.
It has been. It's
And
been.
heck, shortly after the Luka trade, I mean, heck, there were some rumors even LeBron was going to get traded. Apparently, everybody wants him to go to the Warriors and play with Steph, but now apparently it's Durant that wants out and wants to go back to Golden State. So that's what I heard this afternoon. So we'll see. It's like a soap opera. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and KD's kind of weird in that regard, and not kind of. He's weird in that regard, passive aggressive in a lot of ways, and yeah, that could flip. Who knows with
And
that?
I think it's kind of funny because isn't that where Butler's trying to get to? He's trying to get over to Phoenix to play with Durant.
I'd heard that he he was interested in Golden State till he found out Golden State wasn't going to extend him. Then he was no longer interested in that. We haven't talked about that on the show, Jimmy
Yeah.
Butler. Well,
It's
it's
been going on for a couple of weeks.
yeah, it's just how would you I'll just say my thoughts on it since we've just been asking Brad for the episode. But you signed a contract. Like you
Yeah.
signed the contract. Like you're the one that put pen to paper and signed the contract to play out your contract, and you're not doing that because you're not getting extended. I mean that's BS.
Yeah.
I'm I'm with Miami on this 10,000%. Now, if you could see the writing on the wall here and saw this coming, maybe move him earlier, like maybe like the off season, move him
Yeah.
because this isn't new or this isn't news. We Jimmy Butler's. I don't know that he's expressed this publicly. At least, certainly, he hasn't to this extent. His displeasure with the Heat franchise, but you you knew this was coming. And that's the only thing I would have done differently if I were Pat Riley and company. Move him sooner, but at the same time, see that's the thing. I don't know that you had a lot of leverage, but now you really don't have much at all.
No.
It's just it's a toxic situation. But to Jimmy Butler, it's not fair to his teammates. It's not fair to the fans. Um, you signed the contract. You should be out there playing. Agree, disagree.
I 100% agree.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a soap opera right now. It's wild. Um,
At the end of the day, you're playing a game, a recreational game, and you're getting paid unfathomable amount of money to do so. And you signed up to do it. Just do it.
yeah. Play out your contract. Play out do what you said you would do when you sign that piece of paper. And he's not doing that, and it's it's BS. That's really all I can and want to say about it. Going back to the LeBron to the Warriors thing, even if LeBron got shipped to the Warriors and it was LeBron, Steph, and Draymond, I, I don't think the Warriors are much better. I mean, they're not. Yeah, they're not
It'd be
beating the
cool to
Celtics.
it'd be cool to see for a couple of games.
Yeah,
But
I
after
mean,
that, it's gonna be like, okay,
LeBron to Steph is a dream
yeah,
idea. Uh, Steph is the ultimate guy that LeBron could play with. Uh, but I mean, think not that he needs open looks, Steph, but imagine the looks he will get with LeBron as his teammate. It would be fun to see. But I don't think the Warriors are any
we,
better.
we got to see some of the looks in the Olympics.
We did, and it was a lot of fun.
Yes, it's beautiful.
It was very entertaining Olympic Games, Team USA basketball. But yes, NBA. We haven't discussed the NBA really at all, or especially this long in a long time. So it's good that it's
Yeah,
getting interesting. At least I will say that. Um, so we're still talking basketball. Caitlin Clark got her jersey retired at Iowa, and I follow the Indiana Fever on social
really,
media, and
they've been making some moves, man.
they're making moves. I mean, they are making some
Like,
serious moves.
might be hanging up a banner there in Indiana.
Yes, one re-signed Kelsey Mitchell and shipped off Nalissa Smith, who's the girlfriend of, you know,
Oh yeah,
what's her face Carrington, and it was just a toxic situation there, and it was never going to work. So they got her out of there, which was is good on them. Good for everyone, really, but especially
yeah.
good for Beaver. And then get a really good player from Connecticut. Bonner is her last name, and I mean just really has strengthened up that roster, and obviously filled the head coaching spot with a much more credible coach in my view, who was the coach of the Sun then or last season, and who had ties to the Fever franchise or has them. Um, can't recall her name, but it's been all good moves from the Fever. And when we're discussing the WNBA, there haven't been any good moves, but the Fever have knocked everything out of the park right now as a franchise, and that is nice to see. When you get a special talent like Caitlin Clark, you want to take advantage of that and build around them accordingly. Uh, we've seen plenty of examples of generational talents not get that. Uh, Andrew Luck, Indianapolis. Mm, go to baseball. Mike Trout, although that's different a little bit. But I mean, yeah, you got Ohtani, but you got Ohtani and Trout, and that's been it. It's just uh, we could do this all day. I can go back to football. Dan Marino, although they did get to a Super Bowl in his earlier years. But yeah, Andrew Luck pops into my head right away as far as a prime example. And Indy didn't build around him, and one, shortened his career, and two, just you didn't maximize what you had. It looks like the Fever are at least doing everything that it can to maximize what they have. And I got to tip my hat off there. Okay, more basketball. Man, a full
Hey.
basketball episode
Yeah.
during Super Bowl
We
week.
ain't even hit the bit. Well, what to us probably the biggest news or second biggest news. It's hard to beat Luka trade, but
Okay, what's the second biggest news?
dude, the Hogs beating Kentucky over the weekend.
That's what I was getting at. Arkansas topping number 12 Kentucky in Lexington. Coach Cal's return to Rupp Arena and walking onto the floor met with boos, and I'm not surprised by that. But it,
Did you
it
watch it
was.
live?
I watched the second half live. I didn't tune in until the second half because I thought it was going to be a massacre. I thought Kentucky
Yeah,
would stomp them.
me too.
I tuned into the second. I turned on the second half. Hogs were up like 8 points, and I was like, okay, I'll tune into this. And it was Arkansas the whole way. I mean,
Yeah.
Kentucky cut it to what, three or something at some point, but never took the lead. And Arkansas separated themselves late and got the win. The former Kentucky players showed up and balled out.
Yeah, they did. And we
Yeah,
actually had shots falling. Like
yes. Wagner
that was
had
a
a
big difference,
game.
man. Yeah.
Wagner had a game, uh, and man, I mean, it was special. And he had a feistiness to him. Carter Knox, Nelly Davis. That's the best I've seen him play. He's been really just taking up space on the floor. And every game I saw him play this season for the Hogs had a really good game Saturday. So I was very happy to see that. With Boogie Flan going out, I mean, you never want to lose a guy like Boogie Flan, but the silver lining to that, if there is one, is that it's other guys are forced to step up. And it looks like Nelly Davis has done that. So that is nice to see him kind of come
Which
into what we were something closer to what we thought we were getting.
so Boogie's pretty much done for the season, right?
Well, he's done. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
wrap. Are you going somewhere else with that, or just confirming?
No, I just wanted to confirm.
Yeah, yeah, he's done for the year. Big win for the Hogs. Hopefully, now I don't think Kentucky is as good as their record necessarily indicates or ranking indicates. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
The SEC is going to humble. I mean, there's a lot of parity at the top tier of the SEC, so it's going to be very competitive. I'm hoping this is the start of uh, something good for Arkansas, something better than what we've been seeing. I don't know it's going to happen, but Saturday was a good start. Do they
Yeah.
play tonight?
I don't know. I can check real quick.
Yeah, give that a
But,
look.
but yeah, I'm glad we just, we finally seen the spark. We kind of seen it with the Georgia game when we came back and, won it late. Um, but yeah, man, it was nice seeing a game where we kind of played a complete game. We had shots falling. We really didn't rely on the other team missing or anything. Um, it was
That
nice
was a
to
big
see.
thing. Shots were falling, and Kentucky shots or shots were falling for Arkansas. Kentucky shots weren't. I mean, how Kentucky was shooting in the second half is what I saw from Arkansas in at least every loss I've seen them play in this year, and really a lot of their wins were like that too. But shots were falling for the Hogs Saturday. They were up for that game. I mean, they came to play. They were dialed in as could be, and to do it at Rupp Arena shows me something as far as character, back against the wall mentality, and you respond like that. That's good things if you're a Razorback fan.
They play tomorrow night at Texas,
Okay, got a tip off time.
8 o'clock
Central time.
Central Time. Yep.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'll
I'm
try
guessing it's on
to.
ESPN or something.
Yeah, probably. I'll try to tune into that. Winnable game for Arkansas. We'll see what happens, though. We'll see what team shows up. If it's like the team that went to Kentucky Saturday and got a win, I'd say the Hogs have a really good chance of winning tomorrow night. But if it's like every other game we've seen in SEC play, it could be a long night for Razorback fans. But yes, we definitely had to touch up on that. Really liked Cal's demeanor and well everything he did leading up to the Kentucky game, during it, and after post game interview, etc. Not looked looked and coached like a Hall of Fame coach. Like I mean, it was pretty cool to see. Glad to see that for him and Arkansas itself. Okay, there's a big game Sunday, football. We should probably get to that, right?
Yeah,
You said, yeah,
that'd be a
you
good
said,
idea.
yeah, probably. You said last week it was you have Chiefs. You got a
Yeah.
score prediction? I have a score in mind.
Uh, it's probably gonna be like something like 24-21.
Not a very high scoring game if you're those teams. Where is the game? Where is it?
It's down in New Orleans
Okay, just somewhere in New Orleans.
in the Mercedes Superdome, whatever they're calling it nowadays, the old Superdome.
Yeah, it's the my sister
Ben,
is down there right
it's
now.
Mercedes Benz something.
Okay. Well, the one in Atlanta, Falcons playing now is the same way, so it's confusing. I know what you mean. Like when I drove through there, you see the big Mercedes symbol, and you saw it on the Superdome, and I don't know what it is now. My sister is there now, New Orleans. She's there for work, so she's going to be there during Super Bowl week. So that should be interesting. I should get her take on how some of that's going this week, um, and day of, etc. All right, 24-21 for a dome game. That's going to be kind of low scoring. It is the Super Bowl, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's the
I
Chiefs.
think defense is gonna make plays on both sides. So
I mean, Eagles had 7 rushing touchdowns in the last game they played. So it's I have the Chiefs
just
also.
go on my gut. Just go on my gut, man.
Okay, well, I've got the Chiefs also. I do think top to bottom, roster to roster, the Eagles are better. The Eagles are a better all around team than Kansas City. But Kansas City has
Go top to bottom. So Hertz is better than Mahomes. That's what you're saying?
overall, okay.
Okay. And Goddard is better than Travis Kelsey. Correct.
Did I finish my thought?
Okay.
Um, yeah, roster to roster, the Eagles overall
Okay.
are a better team. Okay.
Different than
Um,
top to bottom.
you're correct. You're correct. Um, bad language from me. So overall, Eagles are a better team. But
Would
Kansas
agree.
City has the best player I've ever seen, the best football player I've ever seen at quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelsey, all-time great tight end, top 4 tight end ever. Maybe you could argue he's one. You could make the argument.
You can make the argument, yeah.
Yeah. Um, Andy Reid, uh, as good as in my mind, as good as any head coach that's ever done it.
Yeah.
Not better. And you've got enough pieces around. I mean, you got enough pieces around them to get it done. And Chris Jones on defense, I mean, he's going to wreak havoc on Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is certainly prone to being sacked, despite having the Eagles having the best offensive line in football. Uh, all those reasons, I'm going Kansas City. I'm not going 24-21. I do think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a 3-point game. I'm going to go 38-35, Kansas City.
Sounds like a fun game.
And I think it will be a last drive type of game. I
Yeah.
think Patrick Mahomes is going to get the. I think Philly's going to take the lead late, but there's going to be enough time for 15 to do something magical, and that's what he's going to do. And the Chiefs are going to go win the game in regulation or overtime. Like I mean, he may go down and tie it, and then send it to overtime, and then get the ball, and then go score and win it. Of course, the Eagles would then have a chance with the overtime rules in the playoffs. But either way, I got number 4. I got ring number 4 for number 15. That's what I got.
Be wild. Be wild.
Yeah,
So,
I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's I wanted the Eagles to be the team. I didn't want I like Washington. I think they're the franchise to watch. I wanted Philly to win because I wanted that rematch. Because I mean the Eagles in a lot of ways had them. If it wasn't for that, I mean they kind of had them on the ropes a little bit until Jalen Hurts had that fumble that went in a scoop and score.
yeah.
Yeah, and just the tide kind of turned from there. But this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Jalen get another crack at it, and yeah, and not have it decided by an officiating call late.
Yes. Yes.
If I don't want to see that again. I'm not saying the Eagles got screwed. The Chiefs might have won anyway, and probably I don't know. I'm not blaming it the game, the outcome of the game on the officiating, but I hated the ending. I hated it. I don't want to see something like that in what could be a great game. Just I don't want officiating to be part of the story this time around. Okay, if Mahomes wins this one, I saw something Stephen A. Smith, and I wouldn't say I dislike Stephen A. Smith, but it's just overall I dislike
Yeah.
some of the stuff he says. But he apparently made a comment. Mahomes wins this one, he's the goat. He's already the best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs this to necessarily or prove that in my eyes. But as far as legacy goes, I don't know. 7 still beats 4 if that's how we're looking at it. Obviously,
That's
talking to
how
him.
that's how everybody's gonna look at it.
Yes. Well, not necessarily. I mean, people that are just now watching that didn't watch Brady in his heyday, didn't watch him until late.
If the league's still going on in 50 years, people looking on the history books are going to go, yeah, 7 beats 4 or however many. If it stays, if he wins and it stays at that number now, who knows? When Mahomes is all said and done, we might not even need to have this discussion. But for now, I don't think winning this one, 3 beat, it does carry some weight. But I don't
Yes.
know if I'd be ready because to crown him over 7 over Bernie. So
Uh, yeah, I'm careful with my wording when at least in this
it
regard.
carries a lot of weight. Like nobody's done this. Nobody's done it.
A three-peat, yeah. What I'm talking about is when I say he's the best football player I've ever seen.
Oh,
That's
just
because he
all around,
is.
just yeah, he's just a freak talent, man. Like,
Even when they lost to the Bucks in that Super Bowl, Mahomes did some things that were incredible. He made a throw as he was like uh
falling, right?
horizontal. His
Like, yeah,
body was like horizontal, getting hit, and made a sidearm throw that was about 15 yards on the money. I mean, he
on the
was
money. Yeah,
doing incredible things that game. He was just on his back every play. I mean, we saw Brady with the against the Giants. I mean, if you're on your back every play, if you got an incredible pass rush coming at you, the other team's probably going to win, no matter how good you are at quarterback.
yeah.
But yeah, just because they went head to head and lost, or Mahomes lost, I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter, but it's not an ultimate decider to me as far as which one is greater. Um, I don't know. Well, this isn't black and white. If Mahomes wins, he's all of a sudden the greatest. It's how he plays. It's how how the game was won, etc. What he does the rest of his career, that all matters. This game doesn't decide that.
But
Um,
let's
but
keep
it
in mind, I never thought we'd be having this discussion in our lifetimes. It's like if somebody was going to be better than Brady, and here we are, dude. I mean, yeah, Brady's barely even had time to, kick some sand on the beach in retirement, and we're already having the discussion. So,
it's pretty cool though. It's good for the league when you can do that.
yeah,
Okay, well, I've got Chiefs. You got Chiefs. That's our Super Bowl, whatever number we're at now, edition or prediction.
yeah.
And yeah, we'll be back next Tuesday. We'll talk results, recap the Super Bowl, maybe how things are going for the Hogs and hoops, and how Luka, LeBron, and the Lakers are doing. It's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah,
Until
that's
then,
pretty cool.
yeah. But until then, we'll see y'all next time. I'm Grandpal.
Brother Brown,
Who's y'all?
peace.